really not be recording while I'm driving all the time, but it's a funny thing. It's during the driving, the monotony of driving, where your mind is not occupied with thinking. That's when inspiration hits me. And so that's how you end up with all of these driving videos. I was just pondering the scripture verse where Jesus is saying, "Not my will, but your will be done." And for most of my Christian life, I did not understand it because I didn't have the context of the understanding and consciousness I have today. And consequently, of misunderstanding, not my will, but your will be done, I lived a life, as I call it, throttled. A throttled speed. I lived my life in a throttled way. It was held back in uncertainty and insecurity because I did not trust myself, my will, enough to make decisions. And so I missed out on doing a lot of things because I lacked the trust of trusting my judgment, trusting my choice, trusting my desires, and I always passed it off with not my will but God's will be done. That resulted in not truly living. So what does that mean for me today? It has to do with being guided by our heart or by our ego mind. And the ego mind is driven by needs and wants that are generated from that void place on the inside, that empty place on the inside. So ego is always making decisions based on what can I do to satisfy that longing on the inside. And so whether that is to want to make more money or have a bigger house, have a new car, go and enjoy and participate in this event or that event. When I was ruled by ego, by my dissatisfied and longing ego mind, I would engage in long drives into the country looking for something, looking to fill that gnawing void on the inside. And I did a lot of miles going nowheres, trying to find satisfaction and contentment. And that is the my will, the lower ego sense that is operating from this place of want, and that will get us into a heap of trouble, because it's like trying to fill a bottomless pit. It's a never-ending thing, because the desires of ego cannot satisfy it. Only the fulfilled life, the fulfilled sense from coming home to self, from self-acceptance, from self-worth, which are all things that are established in our heart. Our heart tells us the truth, that we are divine, that we are complete, that we are whole, that we are brilliant, that we are smart, that we have self-worth. We can rest. We can truly rest in settling into ourselves, into this self-love, which is truly finding God. And that is the higher will, is the choices that we make from our heart space and from this awareness that we are divine, we are one with God, we're unified with God, and that is what gives us the inner peace and the contentment and the love. So when we are full on the inside and secure, we are making choices from the divine will, the will of God. Therefore, it's no longer my will from the lower ego that has all these desires that don't fulfill, but it's God's will from my heart, from my full place. And living from the full place, everything is God's will, and every choice is wholesome. Because we're intuitively guided by our whole identity, the identity of I am, and there's nothing lacking, nothing missing that I need to fulfill with external wishes. So that's my new understanding of not my will, but your will be done. It doesn't mean put your life on hold and wait for God to tell you what to do next. The voice of God is inside of your soul, your heart, that is made whole in the consciousness and in the awareness that you are a complete divine being in union with God, and love is yours, peace is yours. There is no fear, no insecurity. You are just stable and settled in knowing who you are. I hope that makes sense.